Good afternoon, guys. How's it going? Well, out here on a beautiful day. Not too cold, not too hot. But looking at gonna slab this pine tree. It was blown over in one of the windstorms. So this is kind of a test. I got my saw, I got my big bar for slabbing, and I made my own mill. And so we're kind of testing out everything. We're testing out the mill, we're testing out the chainsaw. There's the mill, and we're testing out the railings that I also welded up. See how good they do, see how straight true they keep everything. Otherwise, gonna have to come up with a different design. But pretty confident in my mill. Followed another guy off of YouTube who basically made it just about the exact same mill. Really good instructional video. Maybe I'll post a link to that. But yeah, otherwise, just gonna get started here. All right. Alright guys, well, I got my saw fueled up, I got my rails put on. Let's see how everything goes. Alrighty. So it seemed to go pretty good. I don't know, I'm thinking this railing might be a little weak, might be flexing a little bit, so I don't know, maybe see about putting some more braces so I can screw into the logs so at the ends it won't flex so much. But let's pull it off and see what we got. bad. So as you can see right here, this is when it cracked, when it was blown over. Yeah. Shouldn't be too bad. Well, I'm gonna set up for the next pass, this time without using the rail. Just gonna use this, what we got pre-cut here already. Yeah, we'll see how it turns out. All right. Hey guys, so I ran into a little problem as I was finishing up my first slab. I realized that the offside of the piece that I was cutting, the rest of the tree, was actually too close. Alright, so this end of the bar would be hitting this before the chain and bar actually made it through, which would give me an incomplete cut. So that means I could take this off and lop around out of this tree. But what I'm going to try and do, just kind of an experiment for kind of future times moving large pieces of wood, I'm going to try and winch it over with my truck. I got some cable and some pretty good rope, and I'm going to see how it goes. I wrapped it around a couple times, so hopefully it uses the leverage to actually pull the tree and roll it. And yeah, so we'll see. Right now I'm just taking the chainsaw out of the tree, out of the slab, the incomplete slab, just in case something happens. I don't want it to, you know, roll over on the saw or bend the bar or anything like that. So, well, let's see how it goes. All right. Let's see. Probably set you over here, get you a better view. Alright folks, all cleaned up, the rope and all the cables gone. So now we're back to this. Came so close. probably 6 to 8 inches away from the end, and of course that's when you realize everything's going wrong. Not wrong, but not perfect. So we'll throw the saw back in there and look about finishing up this cut, see how it turns out, and maybe get to the next one. All right, hold on. Well, it's empty. See, I think it's just under 4 inches, 3 1/4, something like that. So, all right, well, on to the next one. Time to top off the oil and everything and yeah, get into it. All right, guys, so something I did have noticed since it was a new chain, new bar, everything like that, it has loosened up a bit with the use and probably just, you know, after its first use, but also after just heating up. And then I also noticed that the spacers that I used to actually hold the bar probably aren't big enough. So because of the loose chain, getting a little bit of deflection, and I see it's hitting the metal a little bit, which could really screw up my cutters. So I'll give you a look at that and probably have to fix that in the future here. Here we go. All right, so right in there, pretty good divot. So that means my cutters are probably pretty screwed. Gonna be a lot of sharpening. So gonna tighten up the chain and hopefully that'll keep it from doing it anymore. All right. With a bar this big, maybe touched one once this big, but just feeling how much slack to actually put on the chain between what's over tightened and under tightened. So gave it probably close to a quarter turn, see how that does. Alright guys, something else I've learned from milling in the past is I was milling with the I think the Grangeburg Alaskan mills, and they had numbers etched into their uprights, along here. Even with those, I never like to use them. You know, it was always a little imprecise. You know, I don't know, just didn't feel comfortable. So I wanted like something a little bit more solid. So I had kind of come up with this method of using something which was the size that you wanted to cut as your guides. So with me, right now I could use, I'm using just these pieces of wood. So for that first cut, I went about this thickness, which I believe is about 3 1/4 or 3 3/4. Now I'm looking at going with this piece, which is I believe 2 1/4. So I'll set you up and show you how I, you know, kind of gauge the depth and, you know, how I do it before I throw it on the log again. All right, hold on. All right, so you kind of lay it across the bar, if you guys can see that. So both of the top rails are resting on it. It's resting on the bar. So that's going to be the thickness of your slab when you're done. So after that, just give it a little tighten. Move it over this side. Put that down. Give that a little tighten. Take it out and finish tighten it. Now these don't have to be too tight. Again, I didn't use the thickest steel for this build. So if I wanted to, I could probably crank down and bend it all to hell, but it really doesn't need to be. There's not a lot of force putting that way. So all right, well, we'll fire it up and see how it goes. Whew. All right, last cut for the day. Let's see how it goes.